we're going to open this meeting up with a prayer from Commissioner White.
Our Heavenly Father, we call your precious name, thanking you for this day. We thank you, O Lord, for life, health, and strength. We thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us and our families. Lord, coming up to this meeting today, this court meeting, we pray, Father God, that your spirit will be in the room and will lead us into making the right decisions for the citizens of this county. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. I'd like to acknowledge all the guests that are here. Do we have anybody set up for public speaking? All right, we'll close that. We'll go right in, deliberate, and consider action on the following items. I'm gonna move item number 8 up to number 1 so Mr. Reed can give his presentation, and he's got to get back. So it's going to be received presentation of the 2022 audit from Charles E. Reed and Associates.
I think you all have a copy on your desk. This is
Yes, sir.
December 31, 2022. It's quite old. And we're working with your county auditor to 23. The books and records are ready, 24 almost ready. Hasn't ended yet.
Oh, that'd be good. Catch us up.
Yes, sir. What I like to do is get a copy of the prior year and sort of compare them as you go through. But I want to read our opinion. It's on page 1, at the bottom of page, about 4 or 5 back. Our letterhead. I'm going to read the second paragraph. In our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of governmental activity, business type activity, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the county of Newton, Texas, as of December 31, 2022, and the respective changes in financial position and where applicable cash flows thereof for the year then ended in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States. This is called an unqualified or clean audit opinion. We did receive full cooperation from your staff and management and contract accountant and everyone at the county. Next part of the financial statement is called the management discussion and analysis. It compares this year to last year's assets and revenues, and it's a good document to read over.
What page is that on, sir?
Page 4 through 9. Page 10 and 11 are called government-wide financial statements. This places the county financial statements or like a business's financial statement. Fund accounting statements start on page 12. First one on page 12 is the balance sheet. Your general fund has total assets $4,093,000. The 21 year end had $3,734,000. So your general fund assets are larger. Your liabilities mostly account for $619,000, $620,000, and the 1 year before was $714,000. So your liabilities are full. Your income from property tax, $2,189,000. A year ago was $2,396,000. So that deferral is less also. And your fund balance, $1,283,000. The year before was 624,000. So your fund balance in your general fund is up. If you look at the far right, your total governmental funds, total assets 11,588,000. The year before was 11,088,000. Your total assets are up. Total liabilities 3,351,000 is up a little from the prior year, and your fund balance 6,046,000 is a little less than the prior year, 6,500,000 on the 21 year. So your fund balance overall, and that has to do with the grants and the prior year you got some money and then you spend it during this year, which is what you're supposed to do. Page 14 is the income statement, statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. Your total revenue in the general fund, 8,518,000. A year before was 8,290,000. So your revenues are in the general fund have increased. Your expenditures in the general fund, 7,386,000. And a year before were 7,489,000. So your expenditures are down. And what I might ask you to do is flip over 2 pages to page 16. This is a similar statement, but it compares your general fund to the budget. Your total revenue, 8,518,000 in the general fund, and you had budgeted 6,646,000. And the big difference is grants. You got more grants than you had budgeted for, which is good. Total expenditures, your budget was 7,304,000, and your actual 7,386,000. And there's a couple of departments. I think this has to do with grants too, with the general administration and the health and welfare or budget. But overall, your total budget was to have a deficit or a negative 1,198,000, and you actually had a positive 1,857,000. So you're much better than you budgeted for this year.
So can I ask you a question there, sir?
Sure.
So the 1,857,000, is that an unencumbered balance at the end of 2022? Unencumbered meaning money that is not allocated for anything. It's basically cash revenue available to the county to use at will.
Let's go back to page 12. In the general fund, the fund balance of 1,282,000. And that consists of your assets minus your liabilities. So you have that as unassigned or it's not restricted.
Okay.
And well, you have cash of 1,494,000 in the general fund, but you have some liabilities and some assets too. Answered you, but it's fund balance is the difference between your assets and liability. And in Newton County's case, in the general fund, you have most of that, a lot of that's in cash and property tax receivable.
So does that amount include the money market and I think there's like, okay. Okay, so if I understand this correctly, and forgive me for asking simple questions, but I want to understand it. You're at the end of 2022, we had approximately $1.4 million remaining available cash funds.
In the general fund, 1,500,000 or close to it.
Okay.
Okay, and that's adding in the road and bridge general, the emergency courthouse grant, FEMA grant of 40,000, TDRA of 42,000, ARPA grants of 727,000. That's adding all that.
No, sir, in the far right column, your total cash
Okay.
equivalent, 6,861,000 in your bank accounts and your investments.
Okay.
I would like to, on page 28, note number 3, while we're on that subject. Here, note number 3 says that your monies was either insured by FDIC or fully collateralized by collateral that held in the trust department of the bank. So your custodial risk was 0. So you had 6,800,000 and you had either insurance or collateral to cover. And I think that on and on, you keep that. And I don't know if I've fully answered you. I will. You have 6,800,000 of cash, and then you have some other assets and some liabilities to get to the fund equity or fund balance. I do want to read on note number 8, page 41. You're at the end of 22, anyway, you were in a dispute over some tax litigation suit. Has it been settled?
Yes, sir.
Right. All that's by the forward. And on page 61, these are some having to do with the grant, they're called family. These are, they've been addressed by your county. These are, like I said, it's old. 3122, there were some recommendations from us to be more timely, and that's already been addressed by your county auditor or staff. And all of it's fine, really.
Can you explain to them what that entailed? That it was, we were receiving the receivables, the expenses 1 year, or the receivable 1 year and the expenses the next, and that's what, with the grants. Explain that to them.
Some of your grants are reimbursement grants. You spend money and then get reimbursed. Is that most of them?
Yes.
So book in the expense, but should also book in the receivable from the grants. And there was a little, it was all there, it just should have been in the previous year. So the books and records got corrected.
Yes, and that had been going on for years. We had to go back and change them, so as long as we've been doing those grants
It caught up.
in the CFA report.
It was all there.
Yes.
Just in the wrong year sometimes. And that's because grant people take a while to reimburse you.
Should we expect that in 23 and 24?
So
We fixed it in 22 moving forward. We've had to go back in our books and move them, and we've gotten with Mark and we kind of know what we need to do.
Okay.
So, yes.
So is that Is Barbara, is that one of the advantages of having the CPA?
Yes.
So the fine,
Went back for, I think it was to 2016. Well, it was back years that she had to go back and fix the CPA report and pass. But yes, that is one of the big advantages of having her.
I'd be glad to try to answer any questions or come back or indicate whatever is it. Pleasure.
Would you address a couple of the questions that you had about some of the information in there?
wait for that.
Then-
Page 62.
The thing we just went over. The federal award finding question in false.
Calls? Okay. On the calls there, it talked about, it say due to the changes of staff and management level positions, including the county treasurer, we didn't have a change in the county treasurer. Maybe that ought to be auditor and county judge at that time because of the election. That should not be treasurer.
Okay, we can.
It was another, what here? Was it not two of them, Delene?
That's the only one that I.
Okay. But yeah, that was, I know we did not have a turnover in treasurer in a while, and so that should be altered. Because we had a new auditor and a new judge.
Thank you.
Okay, in your opinion, is the county doing everything proper that it should be, as far as now and going forward?
Yes, sir. We've not audited the more current year, but we're in process and things are looking good for 22. Got to be good. And that's the way 23 and 24 and 25 are gonna be, or they already are. So yes, sir.
Okay. Does anybody have any more questions for Mr. Reed?
I got a book full of questions, but I'm not gonna show my ignorance. So if I understand this audit correctly, so there were some things that were dated that we weren't doing as a county, mainly around grants and the way we were logging in money that was being paid back to the county. And that was dated years before, and that was all cleaned up during the 22 audit. Is that a correct statement?
That is correct.
Okay.
It was in your records and books, it was just needed to be in the right year. So it would, the entry to show it in the correct year was made, and it's continuing to be made for 23 and 24 also. It won't happen. Yeah.
Okay. So that was one thing. And then as I understand it, the unencumbered balance, maybe a word we use, other people don't use so often, but the amount of money available to the commissioner's court and judge at the end of 2022 was approximately $1.5 million.
Unrestricted in the general fund, that's correct.
Okay.
The other funds have a lot of money, a lot of cash, cash equivalents, but they're to be used.
I understand.
Funds do.
That was my questions. Thanks.
I'd be glad to try to answer any further questions if you have any comments. Back or visit on the phone or whatever.
You know, I had a call, I guess this is for the judge in the court. I had a call the other day from a gentleman that lives in Newton. I won't call his name, but he was concerned today about us accepting this audit as a court. Didn't think we should accept it, and he wasn't happy about it, and I asked him if he had read it, and he said he had not. So I don't know what he was unhappy about, but I went in and tried to find out what our roles and responsibilities are related to this audit. And really, they're not anything. I mean, we can, as I understand it, we can accept the audit, direct management, judge elected officials to address finding, ask for correction plans, or request follow-up audits. But when I look at this, you've already addressed, you've got an action plan for any, a follow-up plan to address any deficiencies.
Yes, sir.
So I guess from what I read, and maybe Misty can help us, the only thing we can in the court is accept the report.
Correct.
I want to thank you for all your hard work, sir.
And the way the all right,
Elevator's right there.
but
I'm just reading. Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we receive the presentation of the 2022 audit from Mr. Charles E. Reed. And,
Second.
all right. Motion made by me, second by Commissioner White. All in favor? All against?
Appreciate it.
All right. So we'll move back up to item number 1. And it's received presentation of the year-end report from ESD number 1. Well, I have it right here. And the 2024 financial statement was beginning balance on all accounts was $40,854.44. The highest balance on all accounts was $216,626.83. And the ending balance on all accounts was $39,003.
I make a motion that we receive and process the end of year report. This is the file financial report. I guess that's what we need to say it. From ESD 1.
Second.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Powell, second by Commissioner Benson. All in favor? All against? All right. Item number 2 is receive presentation of end of year report from ESD number 2. And Courtney, when did you say they had?
Yeah, I think we had already done this around January the 9th. It's the beginning of this year. We'd already accepted it. We just didn't see it, I guess.
Okay. Do you have it in the?
Yes, it's in the packets.
Okay, it's in everybody's packet.
So within the court minutes, you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no else. And the home doing minutes.
Yes. Now, EFC number 2, they have no outstanding loans or debts, no debt service. And this is, their 2025 budget. You know, they have an income of 120,000. And they have a budget out for fuel, electricity, equipment expense, repairs. Total expenses of 87,000, total income of 120,000. And then carryover from 2024 is $45,467. And here's your check register.
Those carry over.
No, yeah, okay.
You know, it seems like I know up in the Burkeville area, guess because it's more rural, wooded, there's a lot of forest fires that they respond to off Highway 63, whenever.
Oh, yeah.
It would seem that they could be reimbursed by the people that own that timber, you know, some sort of stipend to respond. I mean, they're acting like the forestry service in those areas. It seems like they would get something back from the timber management groups on that.
I would love to challenge them on that because we are leasing that last 2 fires they had. Our hunting club are leasing that and we're paying premium cost and they don't want to pay taxes and want to charge us over value on our dirt pits and all of that kind of stuff. So any way we could challenge them or insist that they, you know, do their part as far as helping out.
Well, Toledo Bend Fire Department just has stated a fee for services, you know, like if you start a fire and it goes onto the neighbor's property, you know, not only do they get a fine, but, you know, it's basically for negligence. It's not for accident out on the highways, but just basically negligence. If someone starts a fire, that they can basically bill them for the use of equipment and man hours. So I don't see why we couldn't do the timber management company the same way.
I guess maybe straying a little bit, but what we see is we've got, in my precinct, we've got County Road 3114 and County Road 3111. And tens of thousands of acres in that leased, and those roads are destroyed from August to January by hunters. No fault of theirs, that's what they do, that's how they get to them. And there's other means to get to that, and then we go and we spend tens of thousands of dollars, taxpayers' money to rebuild those roads, only be destroyed year in, year out. And like you say, you know, $10 an acre adds up pretty quickly. Start doing 100,000 acres.
Yeah, they don't cut us in the slack, so we should hold them accountable. Actually, we received a letter from them a couple of years ago stating that we were the leased and hunters were going to be responsible, 50% responsible for upkeep of the roads. So, you know, they're dishing it off to the occupants and whatnot. So if we have an opportunity to hold them accountable, it's in our county. It's costing the county taxpayers overall. So I think we ought to write them a letter or something.
Tell you what, we can do is make it an agenda item for the next meeting to have a discussion about that and come up with a plan.
Can do that. All right, item number 3 is approved final payment to Texas Premier Communication in the amount of $194,566.83 for the communication tower in South County. So that's the final payment on the tower installation, the microwaves, the radios, everything that we purchased for the sheriff department upgrades.
This was actually budgeted this year's budget, so we'll just have to
Yes.
carry over money. We'll have to do a budget amendment this year if we pay it this year. We plan on paying it this year. But
Yes,
This is not on today's bill pay, this is the last bill pay of the year.
okay, well, we need to make a budget amendment to get it paid because the tower company won't start the repairs on the Blakewood Tower until they get paid for the tower they installed in.
You have a requisition invoice, and now I can get it. The budget, I mean, it would have to be added to today's bill, or, I mean, unless we had a, because we don't have another court schedule, do we?
No. So can we add it to this bill?
Can you send it?
Approve the payment of it.
Yeah, approval in court, okay. So,
Did you hear that, Jennifer?
so I'll make a motion that we approve final payment to Texas Premier Communications and add it to today's bill pay for the amount of $194,566.83.
I'll second.
All right, motion made by me, second by Commissioner Hobson, all in favor, all against? All right. Item number 4.
I'm not sure what we did then. So did we make a motion just to add it to the bill pay?
Yes, and pay,
And do a budget amendment.
We're gonna do a budget amendment here in a minute. Okay,
Yeah, that's next. But
so
at the bottom.
just for the sake of records, I mean, we're gonna approve the 194 when we do bill pay, right?
It's not, it's on the bill pay.
I'm trying to clean this up. So we're gonna add it. Did we just make he made a motion to approve it and add it to the bill pay while you were.
Right. Yeah.
So my question is, should that motion say to approve it and add it to bill pay, or just to add it to bill pay and then we approve it at that time? Because, I mean, we're gonna be basically approving this twice. I'm just,
So just do it on this line item. And you're approving to pay it, so it could be added just on this. Bill pay. It's going to be added to the bill pay per line item 3, correct, Misty?
Either or.
okay, well then I'm a yay. I didn't vote, but I'm a yay. I'm all for it.
all right. Did I get all for? All against? All right. All right. Item number 4. Approve revised chapter 312 tax abatement agreements between Newton County, Texas and Texas Renewable Fuels LLC for phase 1 of the proposed Texas Renewable Fuels project. Now the 312 agreement will expire if we don't renew it for 1 year because of construction start. So the USA Biofuels has asked us to extend it for 1 year to give them time to start construction next year. So if we don't renew it, they'll lose their tax abatements from the county and the school district. Melissa, you have anything on this?
So the only changes between the tax abatement agreements, there's a phase 1 and a phase 2. The only thing that has changed are the dates, that the taxes are abated, and it's adjusted, by 2 years. Like, it's, the original says that it's gonna commence on January 1st, 2026. The updated one says it's going to commence on January 1st, 2028. So, and it's the same length of abatement, it's just all shifted forward.
And we're good legally to do that. I'll make the motion that we approve changing the dates to 26, start tax abatement for the biofuel facility,
And
Texas Renewable Fuel Project. I'm sorry.
and item 4 is for phase 1, and then item 5 is for phase 2.
Can we do them both at
They're
once?
just. They're
Phase
just.
1 and 2.
Okay.
But yes, you can,
Okay, and I'll read, item 5. Approve, revised chapter 312 tax abatement agreement between Newton County, Texas and Texas Renewable Fuels LLC for phase 2 of the proposed Texas Renewable Fuels Project.
I'll make the motion that we approve the revised chapter 312 tax abatement agreements between Newton County, Texas and the Texas Renewable Fuels LLC for phase 1 and phase 2 of the Texas Renewable Fuels Project.
I will second that.
Okay, motion is made by Commissioner Powell, second by Commissioner Benson. All in favor? All against? All right. Item number 6, consider authorizing the county auditor's office to reimburse county employees for sales tax paid when personal funds are used for official county expenses. Now, Sherry, I seen that you put out. I seen an opinion from the Attorney General's office that if it's in the county's purchasing policy, that they can reimburse county employees on official county business, like, Prentice had to pay for a truck over in Louisiana, and they won't even exempt state sales tax in Texas. They have their own Louisiana sales tax. So under special circumstances, like his credit card didn't work, I think the county should reimburse, because he had over $100 in taxes. 90 something. Okay, 90 some dollars in taxes that, the county should reimburse the employee their own official county business. So,
Nancy, do you want to take over there?
okay. So I've looked at this issue, and one of the item says, e.g. hotel rooms and similar charges. Particularly when you just say hotel rooms, and I know this isn't the example that you've given, but I want to go ahead and address the whole item. The county is not exempt from paying local and state hotel occupancy tax. So that should always be reimbursed. The county is not exempt from that. As far as sales tax is concerned, the county is legally exempt from paying sales tax in Texas. And that means that we're automatically not required to pay sales tax. I wouldn't go so far as to say that us paying sales tax is illegal, because illegal means there's been a violation of the law. But should sales tax be paid? No, because we don't have to, and that's not being good stewards of our taxpayers' money if we're paying sales tax that we shouldn't have to pay. That being said, I completely understand the sentiment of if an employee has a purchase that they need an item that needs to be paid for right then, they need it to fix something that's it's an extenuating circumstance. They did go to use their county credit card, it doesn't work. The merchant won't give them the tax exempt if they're paying for it personally. I think that is a situation in which it could be justified. The commissioner's court could approve that in that extenuating circumstance. I think anytime you do that, it's going to have to be case by case basis, and it's going to have to be an extenuating circumstance. I don't think you should make a habit or a blanket, hey, employees, y'all can, if y'all go pay and y'all get sales tax, then no problem. with
Yeah,
that.
I don't think it should be a blanket,
So.
but like, extenuating
Very
circumstances.
carved out. Now, I've also researched how if sales tax is paid in error, it can be refunded from either the merchant or the Texas comptroller. I think that should also be looked into, because if sales tax was paid and it shouldn't have been, then we should get it back. Now, again, that's a lot of paperwork, that's a lot of rigmarole. And that should be, again, employees paying for sales tax and then us having to go through the process of getting a refund should be very discouraged. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
so what I'm saying is there may be a way to get it refunded, but it's paperwork and proof and all this sort of thing. And employees should really be required to carry around their tax exempt paperwork if they're making purchases. I understand the issue with the credit cards, and I think we're getting a new credit card, which will help the situation moving forward. My point is, I think you need to be very, very careful about making any blanket, hey, we're gonna reimburse you if you get charged sales tax. I think it probably should be case by case basis. I don't have any, I've looked at different counties' purchasing policies. And some counties actually have a section in their purchasing policy where they talk about tax exempt status. And they talk about how employees are required to have that tax exempt paperwork when they make purchases, and that that if they're charged sales tax, they'll be reimbursed on a case by case basis based on the best interests of the county. So I don't have any proposed. So I guess my recommendation would be that you might consider updating the purchasing policy that includes a discussion of tax exempt, the tax exempt status of the county, and directing the employees how purchases should be made with the tax exempt, you know, and laying that out. So that's my recommendation. I don't have any recommended verbiage right this moment, but I can.
Okay,
Sorry, that was long-winded, but I wanted to make sure that I was clear on my recommendation, you know.
okay, so, and I agree, it should be done on a case by case basis. In Mr. Hobson's situation, the closest Ford place was in Leesville. They repaired the truck. Credit card did not work, so they had to pay for it out of pocket. And then he submitted, but then there was,
Also, I'm just gonna throw this out there, Louisiana does not accept Texas
Yes.
sales tax.
yes.
So just,
So it wouldn't have been.
they do not, they do not.
Right.
We've already ran into that. Put it in.
That might have been when,
So,
that might have been why the card was declined because.
Well, I tell you, the whole discussion, what comes to my mind is the purchase order system. So like I was saying, the whole discussion it brings my mind to the purchase order system. Because, you know, I know there are, trust me, you know, those circumstances where you got to make things happen, right?
Right.
But the PO system is really, and it is what it is. It's an effort to handcuff the spending of the county to the point where we just do it absolutely right. And it's absolutely traceable. And, you know, and the whole intent there is to gain the trust and the respect of the constituents that we work for. If we do a recommendation like that, then it's kind of circumventing the PO system because we can go, Yeah, well, maybe, but we're still gonna run into that, you know, well, we got an emergency and what do you do when you gotta buy stuff in Louisiana? I think you buy a lot of your material in Louisiana. And, yeah, I look forward to getting the PO system in place and hopefully a lot of this will go away, so.
Well, and when the PO system will have to be part of the purchasing policy. So we're gonna be updating the purchasing policy, so we can take this into consideration in conjunction with and make those finalized instead of being.
So, in your opinion, Misty, on item number 6, how should we proceed on this?
So I think at this point,
Yeah.
you just take no action at this time and I'll work on it and we'll represent it when we update the procurement policy with the purchase order system and we'll incorporate it.
Okay. So,
That's my recommendation.
all right. So, I'll make a motion, we take no action on item number 6, until, the purchasing policy has been updated.
Second?
All right, motion made by me, second by Commissioner White, all in favor?
Uh,
All right, item number 7, discuss and take action on changing the county policy to allow employees or other employees to donate their sick leave, comp time, or vacation time if they choose to do so willingly.
The judge, I asked for that, to be placed on the agenda, so, you know, the situation we have in my precinct, one of my employees has a family member that is requiring him to be away from work for an extended period of time. He's depleting, vacation and now sick leave, and he's going to at some point run out of that. One of the employees that work with me come to me and said, you know, I got a lot of vacation. I would like to give some of my vacation to this employee when the time comes that he's out of vacation. And, you know, pretty touching that somebody would do that. So, I based on his generosity, I asked for this to be on the court. And since that time, Ms. Ginger, our county treasurer, who's also our HR representative on matters such as this, has reached out to me. And I think she has a proposal for today or something to say to the court. Not a proposal, but something she can say.
Yes, I was just gonna. There is something that's called a sick pool. Some counties do it and some counties don't. I called Sabine County, they used to do it, but they don't anymore. And then Jasper County does. And Miss Brenda from the treasurer's office in Jasper sent me their policy on their sick pool. But it's gonna be, I need to do a lot of research on it to see, because you just can't willingly, I can say, you know, Martha's gonna give so-and-so 40 hours or sick time. There's a certain way that sick time gets into that pool. It's where somebody leaves and has sick time left, they retire and have sick time left, that accumulates your sick time pool. And you have to go through, like, the commissioner's court would set up a board each year. And the person that wants the sick time has to request to their department head of how much time they need. Then the department head brings it to the board and they approve it.
Right,
That's what they've requested.
so what you're saying is say, we have people that left the county and they lose their sick time because
Because we don't.
you're saying that it's gonna go into a pool, right?
Yes.
If you adopted a policy.
If you
Yeah.
gotta have the penalty department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's several things that she sent me off her, how they do their sick pool, so. I'm asking if we can wait and let me do some more, maybe on the next court, do some more research and get with Misty and we can research on what we need to do.
So I have a motion on this item, but before I make that, part part of the real challenge is this, is not all the department heads are charging their employees sick leave. We have employees throughout the county, well, I won't say throughout, but we have employees that have been off sick for an extended period of time that aren't charged any sick leave. And then you have employees or managers that try to adhere to the policy, and we look like villains. And we have people within our own crew trying to give their time away because they know what's going on throughout the county. And, you know, then somebody's trying to do what the policy says and be the best steward of the tax dollars, and it presents real challenges. But on this item today, I'm going to make the motion that we table changing the county policy to allow employees to donate their sick leave or comp time and give our treasurer/HR department time to research and come back to the
And it would be non-changeable policy because we don't have anything in there. It'd be a.
altering the policy. Well, adopting a new policy.
Before we second, Mr. Ginger, do you know why Sabine
No, but I can ask Tricia
quit?
and then they quit.
Sure, there was some kind of issue.
And I want to address what Mr. Powell just said about the department heads not. By law, if your employees are sick or whatever, they have to follow the policy. You cannot just take it upon you as being the leader of that department and let the county pay for it. That is misappropriated of funds. That's not, I just want to let everybody know that they're department heads, that you legally can't do that.
When it comes to.
Am I right in saying that, Missy?
Yes.
Okay.
When it comes to our office on their time sheet and that department, you know, we look at that on full-time people because we keep a schedule of their, how much sick vacation, whatever that they've used. And if it says, you know, they didn't use any sick time in that
Right.
department, I don't know the difference. I don't go to everybody's office every day.
When I audit yours, when I audit time sheets, the same thing. I don't have yes, I mean, so I'm going by your sheets, by the accumulation of what the time sheets say versus that. But if the departments get caught doing that, I just want them to know that it is illegal and they can lose their.
So I think it's each quarter, the department heads take and we have a sheet of paper that has everybody's name. It has their vacation, their sick leave, and their comp time. And it has a figure in there, and then they initial that, verifying that. And then every department head signs that, verifying that. And we do that every quarter. And all of the department heads, all of the departments know what the other departments are doing. So there's no secrets within the county. So it really creates an us and them atmosphere when they see that they're being treated differently than other people throughout the
Well,
county.
the one that has everybody's on it should really just be going to the auditor.
Why? It's
But it
everyone.
goes to Commissioner's Court and y'all, but we spend monthly, each office their own
Well,
time sheet.
Yep. but
Y'all can have that for it, and I give.
everyone should have it.
We should be getting one next month because the quarter will be up at the end.
Well, and the purpose of this department head signature on each time sheet is verifying that it's true, correct?
Correct.
But there should be no secrets from the county government.
There's not, it's public, but the only one I need to really send it to is.
And I have a copy of it, and I'm in
the-
the middle of an audit with it right now.
Goes, but the rest of the offices get their 1 month, or we try to get it to them.
Well, my office has them, so they see it all. I made a motion to table that agenda item. Second.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Powell, second by Commissioner White. All in favor? All against? All right, go to item number 9. Receive presentation from Newton County Tax Assessor Collector's Office. We have anybody in here? We'll table that one. I make a
And that
motion.
was, Judge, if we could, so that was one of the things we talked about when Ms. Burks retired.
Yes.
We was gonna have that on every month, go back and look at the previous month, how much money was brought in, where it was deposited and such and so on. So the last meeting, I think, Did you and the tax assessor collector set up it's gonna be this date going forward?
Well, we just put it as a standing agenda item on every agenda, but we'll just move it to the first of the month.
So I think what we're gonna have to do, because we're gonna have that every time, and it's not gonna be every time. So it'd probably be best to get with her and say, like the second meeting of each month, we go over the previous months. That way, it gives that department the most time they can have before we do a review of the previous month.
Yes, sir.
That makes,
Yes.
and by all means, reach out to that department too.
I know they send out a weekly collection report from the tax office. So we'll take no action on number 9. Item number 10 is receive tax status update regarding communication tower. Mark's not here, but the tower is, finished and functional. We gotta make the final payment on it. They're waiting on final payment before they'll work on the Lakewood Tower. And I think the city has worked or was gonna work on, they're waiting for cold weather. There's about 200 wasps around the ladder on the water tower, so the guys didn't wanna climb up there with all the wasps around. So, we're waiting on colder weather to fix the ladder, so the tower crew can get up there and change the microwave.
So where do we stand on communications on the Burkeville Volunteer Fire Department? Has there been any change? I mean, last I heard, have communication. I still don't have to get a repeater.
Either.
So that's something I'd like to get put on the next agenda for the court to consider, taking action to help the Burkeville Volunteer Fire Department get radio communications. I mean, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how much money we're talking about.
About 40,000, I think, for the repeater, and I get so much a year.
Well, yeah, I think it's more than a repeater. They're gonna have to, file with the FCC, get a frequency allocated, programmed in the radios. So I think with the one repeater and the frequency, probably gonna be around 28 to 30,000.
So I can put an agenda item on there, but we've been talking about it. I mean, they are, emergency response group for a whole town of people. We need to do what we got to do to help them get in a better place. I mean, we've known about it, and I don't know their financial situation. They may have that money allocated. They may say we can't spend it, but at least ask them to come to a meeting and have a discussion on what they're doing and what we could do to help them. I think it's the right thing to
Well,
do.
Mark got the proposal together to do a countywide fire channel. And, some of the fire departments already have their own channels that their ESDs pay for, that they communicate with the sheriff department. And they wouldn't split the cost. They said, why do we need another one? We already have one. So, I think right now it's Burkeville and Toledo Bend that are unable to communicate with the sheriff department. So I think with a repeater up in the area somewhere, Burkeville and Toledo Bend should be able to.
Real quick, so on October 2nd at 4:42 PM, I sent Chief Duckworth all the frequencies and everything, and I haven't heard from him since. So anyway, just for the.
So he's got the radios. If he,
To my knowledge, they do.
yeah, we all had to buy the dual band radios back when we went P25 compatible. So do y'all have dual band radios? So, so if he had the frequency program, he would have communications with the sheriff department. Right?
Good, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So,
I guess where I'm at, we've been sitting around talking about it for 3 months, and I don't see any traction. And I know that there's an ESD tax, there's a fire tax, But if you look at the ESD fire tax on ESD one with Cottonwood there, they have more than ample means to get anything they need for that fire department. When you look at Toledo Bend and Burkeville, they don't have a Cottonwood. You know, so they don't have, and I'm not saying they don't have the money to do it, but it may be allocated for something else. I feel like as Commissioners Court, we owe it to the citizens, not necessarily the fire department, to help them respond. I think it's a discussion. I don't know why we're reluctant to get them here and to have that discussion, but I think we should do it. I'll dress up an agenda item for the next meeting.
All right, item number 11 is budget amendments.
I thought I do have a budget amendment pulling from the cash pool to fund number 010-510-578 for $194,566.83 for the tower.
That's all we have, Sherry?
Yes.
All right. I make a motion that, we approve the budget amendment of $194,566.83, to be paid, communications staff.
194 and the 198.
I've got 194,
Okay,
566.83.
okay. Second motion.
All right, I made the motion. Commissioner White, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? All right, we got item number 12 is payment of bills.
It's gonna be a little different than what you guys have, because I just have that tower payment. General fund's gonna be $281,392.52. District Attorney State Fund, $314.92. Road and Bridge General, $60. $12,156.46. Commissioner Special Precinct 2, $22,810.57. Commissioner Special Precinct 3, $18,441.40. Commissioner Special Precinct 4, $1,102.97. Solid Waste Disposal, $1,005.06. Voter registration, $336. Newton County Library, $649.82. Courthouse emergency grant, $8,616.97. Grants, $158,712. Technology fund, $93.74. Federal forest funds, $10,454.35. For a total of all funds, $516,500.89.
So this is our last meeting of the year. Still look like we're gonna finish the year close to that 730,000. But I mean, that's a wash, you know, that's coming back. So I mean, but without that, does it still look like we're gonna be around that 700,000 mark?
Go down every year.
That's important because we adopted a budget with a $27,000 surplus. Yeah, I know, but you could basically come back with an answer of not counting the 194, we're gonna be close. I get less technical, right? Hey, Judge, before we adjourn, I wanted to share with the court. So we're working on a road, 3111, only have 2 employees working today. And tomorrow we got rain coming, dug out a lot of the road. We got to haul dirt in and rebuild the base. They're not gonna come to the Christmas party today. They're gonna finish that. It's not a slide or a message to anyone. It's just they're dedicated, want to get that road done. They work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's their 9th day in a row. So they're trying to get it done before the end of the year. So,
Okay. And I did sign the agreement with TxDOT for the RAP allocation.
How much?
wasn't near what it was last couple of years. So,
No, you had to get mine. It's yours.
wrap for anybody that is reclaimed asphalt that comes from, Tech Dot. They'll pile it up and allocate it to the different counties.
And I like to tell them, you know, we paid for it anyways. It's not theirs. It's our tax dollars.
Good. I'd like to make the motion to pay the bills.
Oh, I forgot all about that. All right, motion made to pay the bill by Commissioner White. Second by Commissioner Benson, all in favor? All right, all against? All right, who's gonna make the motion over here to?
I'll make the motion with Jared.
All right,
Second.
all right, motion to adjourn made by Commissioner White, second by Commissioner Benson.
I'm not gonna make the Christmas party.